they did a study. Of course, this is an extreme case, but a Paleolithic woman had more muscles in her arm than a bodybuilder does today. So that's the amount of movement that they were doing. We should get educated on what are the factors that can help us not get disease. And that is like what we talked about. Nutrition, our movement, sleep, emotions, all of that. Grandparents could have chapati and rice and all that stuff. We're not burning that, right? So how do we get full if we're not eating that? We have to eat more of the vegetables.
Namaskar. Welcome to the Meeting Point podcast. So 2025 is around the corner. And I'm sure food and nutrition is on the top of your mind. So to give you simple suggestions and tools on these topics, we have invited Rita Date, who is an author of 2 books on food and nutrition. She's going to give us some simple tips to start our journey in. Okay, so let's welcome Rita Date. Hi Rita, welcome to the Meeting Point podcast.
Thank you for having me, Sarika. Pleasure.
Yeah. So been wanting to do this for a while now. So why do you think young children are getting cancer or obesity, so many things happening to them at this age?
Cancer happens, I would say about 80% or even more, the WHO says more, WHO, are caused by lifestyle. Okay. So what is lifestyle? I mean, there's tobacco. Oral cancer is the most in India. It's caused by tobacco use. But we have smoking. People are smoking more. Okay, that causes cancer. Alcohol consumption. And a big one is obesity, our weight. The weight is causing a lot of metabolic disturbances in our body, inflammation. So those cells grow and cancer comes about. Cancer is multifaceted. Okay, we have food, what we put on our bodies. Yeah. We have the amount of movement we're doing. That is a factor. We have emotion, stress. That's one, and we do have these toxic environments, plastics, and that also has causes unhealthy systems to your body. Sleep. So it's multifaceted.
Multifaceted, yeah.
What can we control? As we could try to control as much as we can, right?
True.
So what we're eating, how much we're moving, make sure we're sleeping, and some type of stress management. And of course, toxins and all. We try our best, but that's not always in our control. Yeah. But these things we should try and control.
Okay. I guess it all boils down to the kind of lifestyle we are leading now, right? The earlier lifestyle that we've had, like when I was a child, we were physically so active. The food was in-house, very few probably events of going out. And that would be in itself like a celebration. Hey, we are going out to eat, sort of a thing. So I guess those factors have also increased in our lives, right?
It's tenfold or 100-fold. So, I had my first book was about why you should eat at home, why you should eat the lunch. It was called What's for Lunch. Okay. And I urged people to take a dabba or a lunch tiffin from home rather than eating out.
Correct.
But since then, not only have people been eating lunch out, now in the evening we have Swiggy and Zomato, and so even the evening meal is we're eating out. So that's the basic problem. That's one thing, is that we are eating out, and I will tell you all about outside food in a moment. Yeah, we're not moving, like you said. Yeah, right. Yeah, young children are given the phone, and I mean, I'm not blaming the parents. It's a lot of this is situation in the house, or they're busy. I think kids are on the phone, parents are on the phone. So it's a lot of screen time. So that develops into a lot of sitting, a lot of entertainment that you are expecting on screen, whether it's a phone, TV, laptop, and there is less movement. I mean, it's point blank less movement for the kids. But unfortunately, this is the growing years. This is the time when the body needs that stimulation, that the movement to the bones and the muscles. If you think about it, our parents used to walk a lot. Even we did, but even more, our parents and grandparents walked all the time. The women were always working in the kitchen. They did a study. Of course, this is an extreme case, but a Paleolithic woman had more muscles in her arm than a bodybuilder does today. So that's the amount of movement that they were doing. And of course, it's reduced through the years. So we have to get back to that or do something about that. So those are the factors, those are lifestyle changes that have happened over the years. It started when liberalization and people started going to work in droves. Everybody wants a better life, and we cannot blame them for working. Working is good. Having ambition is good, but you have to balance it. With other lifestyle factors.
True. Yeah. Movement has gone down completely, isn't it? Yes. Children are glued to the phones or iPads or whatever it is, and I guess even if they have to go to for a shorter distance, either they will take a car or they'll hitch a ride I had this guest a few weeks back, and we happened to talk about that earlier it was we could take our cycles out easily on the roads and parents would not be worried about it. But now today, even if the child wants a bicycle, we are worried, because if the child takes it out of the society, the traffic is so bad. So
that is out in the cities. We are not a walking friendly city. Pune or any other city in India that I know of. Maybe there might be a few neighborhoods, but in general, we are not a walking city. You have to make an effort. That's just all I can say is, if this is a circumstance, you have to make do and do different things. Like your child should be going. There are like parks or grounds where there's fitness classes, or they should engage in sports. Whatever's available in that. Playing downstairs with your friends is just that. Playing tag or all these games is excellent. That's what we all used to do.
True.
So if you live in a society, that's one good thing. The kids can go down and play. Do not let them come back in the house. They're safe downstairs. Let them play outside. The other thing that parents also do is study. 10th standard, 12th standard, Dhawi, Barawi. It's even during those times, your kids should have at least 45 minutes of exercise, of physical movement every day.
True.
Every day. In between classes, in the morning, sometimes you have to fit it in.
True.
They need that for their mind. They need that for their body. Nobody can sit for 6-8 hours and just study. It's not going to go in.
True.
That lifts your mood. The exercise movement lifts your mood. It gives you oxygen to your whole body, including the brain. That's another thing that the parents should really emphasize.
Right.
And whether your kid, don't just say study. So please, that's one message I want to put out.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, it's the need of the hour, very honestly. Yeah. What about food? What insights can you give us about food? Like, what measures can parents take to ensure there's less of junk eating, and the food is controlled?
Just don't buy it.
As simple as that.
I hate to be extreme. I'm trying not to be extreme. I always tell people in moderation. But I think that has not worked. I think you just do not buy junk. And I have seen, through the years, when I'm going to the shops, especially the large grocery stores, you used to get, a pack of Parle G or biscuits in this pack. Now they come in bigger packs. We're really going toward the US.
Yeah.
And I grew up in the US, and I grew up in the time when this happened in the 70s.
Okay.
You know, women were going back to work. We can't blame it on the woman, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not her fault.
Yeah.
It's a group effort. But shortcuts were needed in the kitchen, okay? And people started eating more snacks. We don't need snacks. Snacks were created by companies, food companies.
Yeah, we don't really need snacks.
We don't really need snacks. And if you think about it, our forefathers or our grandparents, they didn't really snack. I mean, during Diwali or special times.
Yeah.
Right? So this has been a concept created by food companies.
Correct.
Right? You eat your meals, and, you know, hunger is not always physical. It's, you know, a lot of
mental
factors,
also.
emotional, all that. And we can make healthier choices, you know, teach our kids to make healthier choices. I mean, tell them it's good for their hair and skin. And all of a sudden, they'll start eating a little more healthier, you know. If you just tell them it's for your health, it doesn't really register.
Yeah.
So sometimes snacks are necessary. You know, kids are on the move. They don't have a full lunch or whatever. Promote healthy snacks. Healthy things made with dry fruit or laddus or millets. We need to eat more millets.
Yeah.
You know, diets change over the years. You know, some people are saying, what's the big deal about millets? We're fine with the grains we have. We already have. What's wrong with wheat and what's wrong with that? Nothing is really wrong with it.
Yeah.
But there is a healthier option, right? Then they taste great. I mean, millet dosa, millet idli. There's so many things you can make with millets. And we should try to focus on what is going to make us healthier. So it's not a gimmick. It's not a passing thing. It's here to stay, and we have to adopt it. And little kids love birthday cake. I mean, there's a time for all that. They want that. They love McDonald's and they love Kentucky Fried Chicken, but they should know that it's bad for you.
True.
You know, one chicken nugget has some 50 ingredients, right? So they should be made aware of what they're eating. You know, it's not just taste. It's just not. You have to be a little bit aware of what it can do to your body, and what is in the food.
True.
So at a young age, you know, they need to be educated. So that's what has to happen.
I like your reference you've made in one of your books. In there, you've mentioned about cancer fighting pantry or kitchen. Yeah, you want to throw some light on that?
What we should have in our pantry are healthy snacks. We can keep some, you know, dry fruit, things made rajgira, laddu. You know, you can even find. I know people are busy; they cannot make things from scratch. But find someone who can. There's plenty of people who can. And are willing to do it, and they sell it, and that's a good combination. You need it, they would like to make it, and, you know, keep those things in the fridge. You can keep certain interesting sauces and maybe some like seasonings that you can use in your food, so you can cook at home. Keep things you need to cook at home, so you do cook more at home. So that's in the pantry. In the fridge, we are a country we have an abundance of fruits and vegetables that we can go buy anytime, or get delivered to our doorstep. So we don't need to store a lot of fresh food in the fridge. I mean, every couple of days. It doesn't last in our fridge because of our climate. And we do not need fancy foods. You know. I think I've written about that. We have our own indigenous foods that are very healthy. You know, we do not need blueberries and avocado. And a lot of people ask me, "Oh, should I get soursop, or should I do this for helping with cancer?" There are no superfoods. Okay, there are foods that are very good for you. Okay, but just being consistent with good foods every day and good habits, that's the superpower, you should say. No superfoods, superpowers.
Superpowers, yeah. Because I think some of these superfoods, probably don't get them in India. Like you've mentioned, blueberries, quinoa. We don't really need to go after them.
Yeah.
There are alternatives here, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. I mean, now they're available because there's demand.
They are available, yeah.
But they're very expensive.
Correct.
We have other berries here. We have
Yeah.
karvanda, we have that tutti, blackberries.
Yeah, yeah.
Amla is sour. It's not something, but it also a kind of berry. But we have indigenous stuff you could eat. We have strawberries. So you do not have to spend so much money on blueberries.
Right.
We have, what was the other thing you said?
Quinoa.
Quinoa. We have so many other grains. I was talking about millets.
Yeah.
I think our not Rajgira, the ragi has more protein than quinoa.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you can take these grains, I've never done it with ragi, but I have done it with jowar, bajra, and now the other millets, foxtail.
Yeah.
You cook them and you can put them in your salad. You can make bajra biryani or, those kind of things we can do. Of course, I'm not saying rice is unhealthy, but we do need to reduce our carbohydrates. And millets are carbohydrates, but they have more fiber and they fill you up. So you need less of them. Right. And we are, like I said, the diabetes capital. So we really need to watch our whole system of eating does need to change because we're not moving enough. We're just not, we don't burn everything we're eating.
Correct.
So that's why we should move into more of these foods.
Yeah. I remember, traveling to certain parts of India where, when a guest comes, there should be like a huge spread on the table. And you have to eat. Please, please, please help yourself. And you're not hungry. You don't feel like eating. But some cultures do that. And over a period, I've realized, it's okay not to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cold drinks are served. You don't have tea. Okay, I'll give you some cola or something. I'm like, no, I don't want. Yeah.
So, that's a culture thing. It's going to take a long time to change, but hopefully we should start adopting it.
Correct.
You don't have, if you really want to serve something, cut up an apple. We have an abundance now. Before, that's how you made a guest welcome.
Correct.
Is to give them food.
Yeah.
Now, what you should give them is time. Nobody has time.
So important.
Yeah. If you want to make someone welcome, give them a little more time, or you want to help someone out. Everybody has enough food, right?
Yeah, everyone has enough food.
So
important.
Yeah. So I think we just have to try to adopt it, or I do that. I don't have anything to give, so whatever, like a little fruit I have, I cut up or give a little dry fruit. And with the tea and coffee. Cold drinks. So I want to bring up one point.
Yeah.
One of the reasons, Mexico and the US have a high rate of obesity is because of cold drinks.
Okay.
Coke, soda, all that. So we need to stop. Just don't drink that, okay? It's pure sugar, and it just goes absolutely into your bloodstream. Your glucose goes up, and that's why a lot of disease can happen. It should be a rare thing, and it used to be a rare thing. We used to get them in bottles, and we used to have them rarely.
Yeah.
But now you see big, huge things in the stores now.
True.
I was shocked. I had not gone for a few years to like one of the big grocery places, and it was like huge bottles of everything. That's one thing, and the other thing is in coffee shops, we are getting drinks. Lattes, cold drinks, frappes. Of course, milkshake we know is ice cream, but these drinks that you think are healthy have as much sugar as a Coke. 40-50 grams of sugar in a Starbucks latte and McDonald's flurry or whatever the names are. So you think you're getting healthy, you're having milk, etc., etc. You're not. So do not drink your calories, whether it's Coke or these very fattening drinks.
True. Yeah, and I remember a couple of times when you've pointed it out, And they say, oh no, the children have it very rarely. Whenever they come out, they have it. And that rare thing is probably maybe 5-6 times a month, or maybe more. It's not daily is what they're trying to say, probably.
No, but even,
That's how
okay,
tragic it is.
let's say you have 21 meals a week, right? 7 times 3 is 21. And you know, 5 or 6 of them are out.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It's a lot, and it catches up to you.
Yeah.
It catches up to you. Those extra calories, that extra fat, the extra additives, the extra, salt, everything.
Yeah.
All catches up to you. Restaurants do not care about your health.
Yeah, I was coming to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So should I go
Yes,
on?
please
Yeah.
go
Okay.
on.
Restaurants don't care about your diseases, your bottom line. They care about their bottom line. Okay. So they want you to eat more. Okay. They're going to make the food as tasty as possible.
Yeah.
So for example, when you cannot just eat plain sugar. You cannot just eat plain salt. Some people eat plain ghee, but you cannot eat plain fat. But when you mix these together, they become addictive.
Yeah.
And that's what the food companies do, and that's what the restaurants do. And you always wonder, like, why doesn't the home food taste like that? Because of all these things. They just put a lot of these tasty items in it. And okay, there's 2 types of restaurants. Okay, you have the quick service restaurants like McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken. So they are known to have processed food. Those are called ultra processed foods.
Okay.
They're made in some one kitchen and distributed, and they're just unhealthy. What oil they use. They use. There's already been a lot of research on this. It's junk food. So we know that.
Yeah.
The other restaurants that we are seeing that they have many chains. I don't want to name names, but they have many chains. But it's a nice sit-down place. You sit down and you feel like you're getting fresh food. But the fact is that these restaurants also want to cut down on cost. So how do they do that? They buy packaged soups, or they buy a lot of packaged foods happen at these restaurants as well. So you just want to be aware and do it less. Try to make eating at home more fun. Try to make it more simple. I think, I've written this in my book about what's that show where they judge your food, MasterChef, right?
MasterChefs. Yeah.
So since that, people are watching more cooking shows, but they're not cooking. So, and MasterChef has made us very fussy about food. Like, this texture and this look, and okay, it's fine once. But, right?
Yeah, that's a good perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, but so people are looking for something more in food.
Yeah.
And it's good. Food is pleasure, no doubt. We all get pleasure from food.
Yeah.
But there's a limit. If it's affecting our health, which it is, we need to go back to the roots and eat simpler foods. You can make them tasty. You can make it variety, but make them at home and try to eat more at home. Healthy foods at home.
Healthy foods at home, yeah. There's so many options that we have actually to cook up.
Actually, it's difficult. I'll tell you, it's difficult. I mean, Indian cooking is laborious.
It's very elaborate.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Elaborate, and it takes time. You have a lot of cooking, a lot of cleaning. Since cooks are easily available in India, get a cook, train a cook. These are the things we need to do going forward.
True.
Yeah. Have a dinner party at home. You're going out with friends. Have it at home. I know here you have to clean up, and this whole in the US we didn't have help, so everybody pitches in. So, a little bit of that culture has to change.
Yeah.
Have food at home, clean up. Everybody helps clean up.
Yep.
It can be simple. Doesn't have to be a very difficult, menu. Potluck.
Yeah.
Potluck is always good.
Potluck is always good. Yeah. True. Yeah. Actually, when you put things in perspective, or you take a step back and really analyze where you're spending, how you're spending, probably, it will answer your questions, actually, isn't it? If you start making notes of where you're spending more money, where the money is going out. Yeah. And outside food is not cheap.
No, outside food is there. Things are getting more expensive. People I don't know if you want to. I have a yoga studio, and people complain that they don't want. they don't want to spend the money on the yoga, but then they go down and have a 300 rupee coffee. So I'm like, okay, it's an irony. So wherever your energy and spending goes, your life will go, or your health will go, I should say. Topic of the cold drink came up, the cold coffee, is because somebody in my building was drinking it, and we were discussing it, and she said everybody has it. Everybody, it's and I was shocked. Firstly, it's expensive, and secondly, like, it's filling and it's caffeine and all those stuff. I don't know what people are thinking. It's so much sugar. It's sweet. It's sweeter than a mithai. Those drinks. So you just have to start being aware. And the fact is that there's so much information out there.
True.
Right?
True.
Information overload. People don't know what to eat. So that, you have a vegan diet, you have a carnivore diet, you have a Mediterranean diet. So, and you will find proof that each one is great. Okay. There's papers and reams of studies on all of these diets, all the diets that are out there. But the best diet is, all of these diets will work and are good. And I'm not talking about weight loss, I'm talking about the nutrients. The best diets are when you get the right nutrients in your body. And all of these, they do that. Unless, like, veganism also has a lot of processed food. So you have to avoid all that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, for example, anything is without meat or animal products is vegan. So there are a lot of on-the-shelf products for that. A lot of processed meat now that is vegan meat. So just be wary. Eat real food, basically. Eat natural food. So whether you're vegan or whether you're a meat eater or whatever kind of diet you follow, be wary of the nutrients you're putting in the body, because everything you eat and drink affects the cells in your body.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
From when you're a baby to when you're very old.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. And I'm hoping that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And people I do see people more interested in health, more interested in organic products. They just need to get there.
Yeah. Have you seen, like, say, probably if somebody is diagnosed with cancer, maybe a child also is diagnosed with cancer, how difficult is it for them to make that shift to eating right? Because I think that the doctors will immediately tell them to change their food habits, right? I mean,
no, doctors do not tell you anything like that.
No?
No. Doctors do not tell you what to eat. They will tell you maybe to eat hygienically. That's when you have cancer, that's the most important thing. Your immune system is suppressed.
Right.
So any germs can affect you. So you have to eat healthy, hygienically. So make sure that your apple is clean, or you peel the apple with fruits. Do not eat grapes. Do not eat strawberries. This is when you're going through treatment. When you have
because they have high sugar content.
No. Because they can have germs on it.
Right.
Can cause any bacteria that happens.
I get you.
So no fruit juices.
I get you.
Unless it's really made at home. There are, but certain things you should absolutely avoid, like strawberries and grapes, because it's just thin skin. Strawberries you can't peel. Those kind of things you should avoid. Raw food, if you have it at home, like a salad or something, somebody's making it make sure that it's all clean. So those are the main things doctors will tell you.
Okay.
But what to eat, doctors will not tell you.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, but there's a lot of nutritionists in the
yeah.
It's just the way it is. I mean, why should they tell you when you have cancer? Should tell you before that, right? Your GP should tell you what to eat, right?
Actually.
Yeah. That nobody tells you what to eat to get healthy.
Yeah.
No doctors do that.
True.
It's an industry. The more patients they see, the more money. It's not their fault. I'm not saying it's a doctor's fault. It's just it's just the way it is.
And I guess they specialize in what they're supposed to do, like treating you with. I mean, if one has cancer, then they're busy treating that. So probably nutritionist or some food expert should come in.
Right. And doctors do not have a course in nutrition in their medical training, but they do have lots of courses on pharmacology. Okay. They know the difficult names of medicines and what it can do to your body, and they are trained to give you medicines, which that's what they're trained as. But hopefully you do not come to that stage. So that's where your lifestyle comes in. So if you are a smoker, you are going to need, and it gets bad, you are going to need maybe steroids or some medicines to help you with your breathing. If you inhale tobacco or chew tobacco, you will get problems with your mouth. Maybe it won't get to cancer, but you will need medicines.
True.
So that's what the doctors are trained to do.
Right.
We should get educated on what are the factors that can help us not get disease. And that is like what we talked about. Nutrition, our movement, sleep, emotions, all of that. And do it the best we can to control these. What we put in our mouth, like I said, matters.
Yeah. You made a good point about hygienic foods. Yeah, because they say, hygienic foods.
No, like cancer people there are people who go extreme. Like I don't have sugar, I don't have maida, which is okay. It's good. You're not supposed to have those things. But there is a time when you have to feed your soul, especially when you have cancer. So at that time, you should have whatever you want within reason. You should know that this is not the best for my health, but I need it right now. Okay?
Correct.
Homemade sweets, homemade whatever you need. When someone is not able to eat when they have cancer, then we allow them to eat anything. Okay. Whether it's ice cream or whatever it is, they need nutrients. So whatever they can digest, whatever they can take, we said go ahead. You have to eat.
But all in moderation.
No, when you cannot eat, they cannot eat that much anyway. But we say eat whatever you can at that moment to get some nutrients in the body.
Right. And we are really getting a lot of cases of children getting cancer, isn't it, now?
Yeah, it is a younger and younger population. Getting, for all the same reasons. It's
what we discussed. Yeah.
Very, I think 10% of the cancers are due to genetics or other ones, many are due to lifestyle. And children getting cancer and young adults getting cancer. We are seeing much, much more. And it's all due to the lifestyle. A lot of it is due to the lifestyle. Now, of course, children, and they don't drink, right? They don't smoke.
Yeah.
So what is it? It's a lot of the food. It's a lot of your intake. It's lack of movement. So that's what you have to keep in mind.
Yeah. Lack of movement, wrong foods, and
stress. A lot of stress causes a lot of trouble in the body.
And I guess the nuclear families is also somewhere adding to probably the lifestyle changes maybe. Earlier, maybe if, there was a support system around, so a lot of things would be taken care of. Maybe, home cooked food or probably physical activities.
Yeah, there's a lot of loneliness around as well. I know that people, a huge population, a lot of people around, but that's sense, because we don't get out of the house, because we're on the screens, we don't meet face to face. And I think that has taken a toll on our mental health. Even kids. Okay, they meet people at school, but what about after that? And when you get into college, you don't have to always go to classes, right? The college, you go maybe tuitions, and you have your time is a little more flexible.
True.
So all these things start to play. The loneliness comes. Being alone and being lonely are two different things. So that, especially in the nuclear family, if mom and dad are working, you have to work. They have to work. They have to put food on the table.
True.
So there has to be systems in place to keep the kids looked after. Those things. It's not easy.
It's not easy. Another thought comes to my mind is, does vegetarian food or non-vegetarian food aid in maybe healing the cancer or propagating it? Any study that you've come across or you're aware of?
Plant-based is always better.
Yeah.
In the majority of your food should be plants.
Okay.
We need protein. Okay, but and we do get protein from plants and our millets and wheat. There's protein in everything.
Right.
There's protein, fat, carbs in most foods. Our lentils are good. Our usul, or we say that's very, very good. If you are a non-vegetarian, it's fine. You can eat non-vegetarian food.
Okay.
But how do you eat your non-vegetarian food? A lot of people say they're non-vegetarians and they eat twice a week. They eat so they're not really getting enough protein that way. And when they eat non-veg, and a lot of people who are non-vegetarians, they will only eat non-veg. There's nothing else on the plate. So that is not the right balanced meal, right? You should always have some vegetable, a little bit of salad with the meal. It cannot just have the meat. And we also eat a lot of the gravy. We're not eating the meat.
Yeah.
The gravy is a very fat part of the meal. And in fact, when someone wants to gain weight, we tell them to eat that gravy. So you have to be careful of the heavy gravies and the masalas. But you can incorporate that in the meal, not a non-vegetarian food. But the majority of your plate should be vegetarian.
Vegetarian?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Yeah. Plant-based foods, huh? Leafy vegetables and again we have
an abundance of vegetables. You can make something different every time, make it combinations. So since we have a thali, I've talked about the thali, and we've talked about how to make that thali even healthier in this day and age when we aren't moving like our grandparents. Our grandparents could have chapati and rice and all that stuff. We're not burning that, right? So how do we get full if we're not eating that? We have to eat more of the vegetables, so that we can burn a little, that we can burn easily, right? Vegetables, the legumes, all of that. We need to have more of that on our plate than the other things, as well as the other. I've written about chutneys and all that. So all of that you should include.
Yeah, we have, I think, flax seeds and so
flaxseed
many
chutney, lots of different chutneys.
Yeah, chutneys.
Which are very healthy,
which are healthy.
Yeah.
So probably incorporating those. And those can be made and kept.
They can be made and kept. Yeah.
And
they can be made and kept. They can, if you have a good source where they make them. It's not that you take a pill, like there's a lot of supplements, and sometimes you need supplements, okay?
Yeah.
There's a place for supplements.
Correct.
But you cannot just supplement everything. Our nutrients happen in small micro doses in our body. And the combination of those foods has evolved over centuries, and we've got it right on the thali. So to absorb calcium, you need vitamin C, etc. All these different things happen when you're eating all the foods together, right? So there's a science behind it, and we have to keep that in mind. There's no, like I said, no superfood.
No
and
superfood actually not
balanced.
required. We need a balance.
You need a balance on the plate.
Yeah. And again, as you said, there's so much of information out there which sort of ends up confusing you. You need to have like dal, rice, roti or bhakri, sabji, all of that in one plate, or is it harming us?
You don't need two carbohydrates. We do not need two carbohydrates anymore.
Too much carbohydrates.
Yeah. We have to reduce the amount of carbohydrates, increase the amount of vegetables. So if you look at the thali, only 1/4 should be carbohydrate.
Okay.
And the remaining should be salad and dal and
chutneys and additives. Yeah. So we need to reduce carbs and we need to reduce sugars also.
Yeah, sugars definitely. For example, my husband, who's a Maharashtrian, he eats just like a bhaji, like a pickle. I've changed his habit a little.
Yeah.
And he's had like 3-4 chapatis and all the other stuff, and of course he needed a little sweet, all that. But that's not, he's not burning that, right? And you need to get more nutrients from the methi or the guar or whatever it is. If he's eating that like a pickle, he needs more. He's not getting the other nutrients that you get.
Yeah, and fibers also.
Fiber, yeah. I mean, luckily our rotis and our bhakris have fiber, but not as much as the vegetables would.
Right.
So we need to increase that. Now slowly I've gotten him into the habit of increasing the. In South India, where I'm from, we do have a lot of rice, but we have a lot of sabji. So we're used to eating more sabji. So all of these, because you're not getting any. By me, it's very scientific. Maybe you just not getting the protein from rice, right?
Yeah.
But again, it's all what is grown where. What is, that's also the factor. It's not just
Correct. Like the other day, my father-in-law, I'm married to a Punjabi, so he happened to mention that when we were kids, we were not eating paneer so much. Paneer was butter paneer and whatever. All the variants of paneers that you get were not there. They say Punjabis eat a lot of paneer. No. It's like it's become, like a very rampant thing in restaurants and all that, and which they have, I guess the restaurants have made it more famous or whatever, but it's like Punjabis don't eat so much of paneer.
Paneer is tasty, just like cheese.
Wow.
Why do people like pizza?
Yeah.
Like cheese, they like paneer. And there's this whole thing about protein now. And everyone thinks, people have said, if I eat protein, I'll gain muscle. No. You have to lift weights. You have to work on it. Yeah. Protein will help you build the muscle. And you do need protein. Indians are lacking in protein. But that's not the message that you should take.
Yeah.
Right? The message is to eat healthier. Eat healthier vegetables.
Yeah.
If you have option of eating methi or paneer, you should take the methi. I mean, you need both. But if you have an option, the message is eat more plant-based foods that give you the right nutrients, right?
Correct.
You need everything. We want a balanced meal. But I'm just saying, if you have to choose, that's what you should choose.
And again, the paneer that you eat in the market, in the restaurants, is loaded with so much of fats. Like they'll have maybe cashew added in the paste or whatnot. My God.
So they have that ready paste. It's with lots of ghee and tomato
Sugar
and veg. Everything. They had everything. So that's what they have ready. Interesting about paneer. In McDonald's, they have that paneer wrap. Okay. And when I wrote my book, which was a while ago, it's very similar. The paneer wrap was the most calorific thing on the menu.
Oh.
Yeah, more than chicken.
Okay.
So milk fat, it's fat. So you have to keep that in mind. Vegetarians are not necessarily eating the right foods.
Right.
Just because they're vegetarian doesn't mean that they're. That's why the obesity rates in Ahmedabad and Gujarat are very high. They're not eating, just because you're vegetarian doesn't mean you're eating healthy.
Yeah. You've written 2 books. You're author of 2 books. So which are those? The first book is?
The first is What's for Lunch.
What's for Lunch. Okay.
And that's where I tell people to cook food at home, take a dabba, and I go into the 6 cities. And the 6 cities, metros where they have the highest obesity.
Okay.
Yeah, and try to go into their local foods and give you tips on what to cook, and in the dabba. So that's that book. And then last year I brought out Fighting Cancer with the Thali, that's why I keep talking about the Thali.
Thali, yeah.
And how our Indian foods help us be healthy, help us heal. There's a lot of things on there about what to do when you have cancer, what Indian methods and what foods we can do to mitigate the side effects of radiation and chemo.
Yeah, it's very informative. Very informative.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's where I pulled out some references and I was like, okay, this is like an eye opener. I mean, you know certain things, but you don't know the depth of it or don't know the reason behind it. But when you dive deep into it, you realize.
Yeah, I volunteer at a cancer center.
Okay.
So I haven't done it for the last year or so, but I did volunteer for many years.
Yeah.
And there people just don't know what to eat. They just need help.
Okay.
So that's where I thought that something has to be. There's a lot of stuff in the US and in Europe, what to eat when you have cancer, and lots of books.
Okay.
But nothing for the Indian market, not that I knew of, or very few maybe.
Yeah.
And because people have a lot of questions. People want to know what is good for them when they're, and a lot of people don't know what to eat when they're going through it. Right. So that's very important.
Wow.
We have a lot of tools on our hand in India, in our ancient systems as well as modern systems that we can use to help with all these situations. So with all these side effects.
Right. Yeah, I've heard. I mean, even in hospitals, sometimes I've seen what probably the next person who's battling some other disease, the same food is coming to the cancer patient maybe. There's hardly any difference in it. So, yeah.
All hospitals, they don't have healthy food.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have like just roti sabji maybe, I don't know what they give in hospitals here. In the US, you get on the hospital in the kids cancer ward, you get to order some food as part of the day because you have to spend the day there going through chemo, etc. So on the menu they have burger, they have a hot dog, and pizza. Okay, maybe a few other things, but those are the main things. I think that's it actually. So the vegetarian option is the pizza. Okay, so that's what's in a children's cancer hospital. So I put my hands up.
Wow.
And here it's no different. The canteens in the hospitals are okay. At least they're not as bad. But
they're not as bad.
You have dosa and you have all that stuff. I don't know what they give the patient as part of the thing.
So, Sam, I mean, few incidences where probably family members when they are hospitalized and all that, I've seen that for guests, visitors, they'll have like a canteen where they'll have multiple options, maybe a samosa or a batata vada or something like that. But for the patients, there was like the food is not tasty, and maybe some soup or some dal or the meal is very simple, less oily and stuff like that. So I've seen that happen.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I don't know if all hospitals do that, but whichever hospitals we've been to. But so the visitors will have multiple options. So on that note, thank you so much for taking time out and coming for the podcast. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarika.
So much.